We're all in a long-term relationship with money. We've had a lifetime of experience getting money and spending it, saving it, and budgeting it. We need money to survive, to feed ourselves and our families, to keep a roof over our heads. There are obviously practical reasons to be concerned with money: survival, lifestyle, peace of mind, removing stress. But there's also a kind of money worship that permeates our modern culture. Our culture sees wealth as the ultimate achievement, a status symbol, something that will change the way other people perceive you, and maybe the way you perceive yourself. It's no coincidence that when we say, that person is successful, we most often mean that person has a lot of money. Our society conflates net worth with success so much that we can often mistake it as truth. The entrepreneur Lucas Carlson suggests that even though money can significantly change your life, it can't do everything. Quote, "The problems that you think money can solve don't get solved by money. A lot of people think that if only they had money, they would have better relationships, that they'd be happier, that life would be easier. But life itself, the human condition, is essentially problem after problem. There are problems no matter if you are Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. You can't avoid problems. Problems are life. Suffering is life. There is no amount of money in the world that will relieve you from the human condition, which is kind of a myth that people keep in their heads, that money will unlock a lot of positive things in their life. It's not that money doesn't change your life. Money does change your life. But it doesn't take away the fact that your life is still a series of big problems." Like Carlson is saying, there's a temptation to think that money is the answer, that money will bring happiness, that money will bring you to a sort of heaven that will embrace you with everything that you've ever wanted in life. But that might not be exactly how it works. Jim Carrey, who has a net worth of $150 million, once said, "I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer." Chances are that you don't have $150 million, and if Jim Carrey wired you that money today, it would probably change your life. But in what ways would it change your life? What would it solve, and what wouldn't it solve? Us humans are pretty bad at predicting our happiness in situations that we have no personal reference for. We think we're exceptionally good at predicting what will make us happy. Yet we often still find ourselves walking around with the delusion that our next happiness target, a new job, partner, car, etc., will somehow make us happy forever and permanently fulfill all of our unmet emotional needs. And then we inevitably get disappointed when that happiness target doesn't fulfill those life-changing expectations, even though those expectations were impossible in the first place. But our knee-jerk reflex to this void is often just to find a new target, as if happiness is just one shortcut away. For most of us, that $150 million would significantly change our lives. It would have a lot of benefits, but overall, we'd still be the same people with the same internal problems. And in addition, that kind of money would likely introduce a whole new set of problems that we could have never anticipated. There's nothing wrong with pursuing money and wealth if that truly makes you happy. But I think for most of us, money is not a good proxy for meaning. Sometimes we get caught up with society's values and end up assigning meaning of life levels importance to money when that's not what we ultimately intended. The psychologist Theodore Rubin once had a patient that was retired and wealthy. But despite his wealth, Rubin's patient was incredibly bored in his retirement. As a child, this man had many interests, but he ended up neglecting them all to pursue wealth at all costs, and he didn't know what to do in his old age. As Rubin put it, business and making money became the central issue of his existence. Here's some more analysis from Rubin. The third and most difficult notion to combat was the question of involvement in activity, which had little or nothing to do with money. Due to this man's background, full involvement in promoting apathy and doing nothing was acceptable, since this represented the dubious reward for having achieved financial success. But serious work without remuneration made him feel like a damned fool. We explored his resistance to change for several weeks and found out that feeling like a fool was really a form of feeling guilty for nourishing himself, for daring to do something purely for self-delight, without the rationalization of doing it in order to earn money. Money obviously plays a crucial part in all of our lives, but for many of us, it's probably only one piece of the life we want to live. The most important question we can ask ourselves about money is, are we really seeking money itself, or are we seeking what we think that money will bring us? Those are two very different questions, and we're the only ones who can figure it out for ourselves. If we're not careful, we can unknowingly fall into the trap that David Foster Wallace lays out in this quote. If you worship money and things, if they are where you tap real meaning in life, then you will never feel you have enough.